D-Lo 404 Boxing. All right, y'all. So the takeover just got took over. George Kambosos went out there and outboxed Teofimo Lopez, dropped him in the first round, weathered the storm when Teo dropped him. I think it was in the 8th or 9th, and boxed his way back into the fight. Going into the championship round, I felt like Teo had done climbed his way back in and tied it up. And George Kambosos won both of the championship rounds, clearly, in my opinion. Teofimo Lopez went into this fight. He had a long, I'm talking about a long victory lap following that win over Lomachenko. He walked around parading himself and masquerading as an undisputed champion. All at Canelo's fight on the stage, posing with those belts with Canelo, talking about other people got Mickey Mouse belts and all kind of foolishness. And, just ultimately did and said everything that, you know what I'm saying, that basically made it seem as if he felt like he had already arrived, as if he had nothing to prove and nothing but, a clear path ahead of him. And he was going to go out there and just run over this guy and then continue to duck Devin Haney and go on to greener pastures. Well, it wasn't to be. He went out here and got beat up. You know what I'm saying? He got outboxed and he lost the fight, lost his belts, and then actually went ahead and started saying that he won the fight and this, that, and the other. But then he'll come back and say, well, I don't take nothing away from this, blah, blah, blah. Basically tried to be humble after saying he won the fight. He don't care what nobody say. So I don't know. But that's Teofimo Lopez. Short bust Teo. He all over the place as usual. Just like Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying, and Rolly, the whole gang of them. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see what happens with Teofimo Lopez. He did say that when asked, did he think he need to go on up to 140? And he said, yeah, they've been weight draining him. He should have just took his belts and vacated and moved on up to 140 long ago like everybody else does when they win all the belts, when he didn't win all the belts again. And, he's basically saying that, he think he's outgrown the division. So we'll see what happens with Teofimo Lopez. But it ain't his night. It ain't about him. Congrats to George Kambosos, one of the few fighters out of Australia to win on the big stage against a sitting champion and go out there and prove to be the better man on the night. He went out there and fought his ass off. And he deserved to win this fight. I'm glad it wasn't no nonsense on the scorecard other than the fact that it was a split. One of the judges did have it Teo's way. But in my opinion, the right man won the fight. And, his best wishes to Teo on his road to recovery, on his comeback trail. But George Kambosos is saying all the right things. He's talking about fighting all the other guys. He said nobody considers him to be one of the kings, but he'll beat all those kings. I don't know exactly how he said it because I was trying to listen to two things at one time. But he said something alluding to he has no problem fighting any other guys that are so-called the four kings and so forth and so on, that he'd fight all of them and he'd beat all of them. And that's what I want to hear fighters say. I don't want to hear him talk about taking his belts and going to hide over in Australia and trying to avoid tough competition. He said he's a better fighter than Lomachenko too. So, who knows what's going to happen with George Kambosos. Hopefully he's not thrust right into a mandatory shot against somebody, a mandatory defense rather. Hopefully he'll get an opportunity to get a big fight for himself because he definitely deserves it. That's all I got on it. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's out.